So tell me about your game. We've talked about this for a long time.
It's really basically a good representation is this first line. It always starts out well and then it just like falls apart really quickly.
Okay.
Off the tee, I'm all right. Like I can manage. I don't hit it far at all.
Okay.
And then my tee to green just like terrible.
So it's all ball striking and swing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
pretty much, if I find like I'm either hitting it like very well and straight, or just like fat, thin shank. Like
A little of everything.
Yeah.
The buffet of shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Let me see what you're doing. You taken lessons before?
No.
Okay.
Never.
I know every time I show up with a camera, little nerves happen, so let's just keep hitting. So, here are some of the big pieces that I'm seeing, like, elephant in the room stuff. Posture is good. I'm not going to talk about your posture, but I will talk about how your right hand's on the club. I'll talk about that last, though. So, as you swing this club up into your backswing, we don't have a whole lot of turn to the body, mostly in the legs. Okay. Right? So, I don't want to talk so much about hip turn today, as I want you to feel like it's more thigh turn. And we'll get into a drill for that. But if the thighs and the legs don't quite turn back far enough, then the chest can only go so far. And then when your arms try to get up to the top, they can also only go so far. So we've got a low backswing with the hands, and as a result of all that stuff I talked about, the club face is open.
Okay.
It's 50 or 60 degrees open, like significant.
A lot.
So what you're doing to get down to the golf ball here is you've got a really good pivot action. Like from here into the ball, you use your body really, really well. Like the fact that you can go from here and notice your legs, boom, they turn so much right there. Like you've got great moves. But the club is too far outside your hands there, which makes it come down steep and across the ball.
I could tell from my path. It was like...
Absolutely. And so that is a total result of the fact that it's short and open. So we react to the club head and the club face, short and open. So as you start coming down this way into the golf ball, right, we've got a lot of the body still lowering, right? You're still really low here as the ball's through, and then when the club comes out of you, right there, right, you're still short. Your legs are short, your hips are still back, right? We need to try and get taller into the finish. Okay, so when I look at it from this side of things, okay, so the right hand grip on the club is too over, and that's one of the reasons why the face gets open. It's too over. I don't want to feel like it's more under today. Okay? Glove hand is fine. I'm not going to mess with the glove hand. So we can see from this view here that as you get to the top of your swing, right, it doesn't really get high enough. We need to see that the glove gets higher than the Nike logo on your hat. It needs to get up there. And then on the way through the shot, I need you to get taller and more forward. Like you do there, right? You get there. You just get there with the club up there.
Way too long.
Yeah, and I want you to get there with the club still down here, pointed at the ground. So we're going to go change the right hand grip. We're going to increase the thigh turn to help you lift it up higher. And then I want you to feel like the club and the arms and all that stay back to your right as you try and get into that finish. So it's not like I need to tell you where to get to in the finish, because you get there really well. You need to get there earlier. Okay? You have to pull back in this direction to make that snap. It's the same thing with the arms. The arms don't exactly pull back, but they definitely have to slow down to let the club head kick out, and that's where you feel like it's all wrist. So it's all good. It's a good feeling to happen with your club. So, wonderful divot pattern. Thank you very much. Been arguing on Twitter for a week about this stuff.
I used to work here 2 seasons ago, so I had to fill these.
Okay, awesome. All right, so the thing that we're looking for, if you want to stand there, I can get it on the camera. Okay, so the thing that we're looking for here is that I want it to feel like this is what's creating most of your backswing, right? That you're trying to get this type of, first base club look, right? Because the knees go out that way, right? And if you can feel like that starts to swivel, now we have room to lift the club up. So I can lift the club the highest when it's straight up in front of my chest, okay? But if I take the club back to the side, now I can't lift as high. So I want to feel as though that by rotating the thighs or the pockets on your shorts here back toward the camera, now I've rotated the front of you over here, we can lift up all day, okay? So it's not like you need to get more flexible or stronger, you just need to put your body in a place to allow normal biomechanics to happen. So we've got turn, right? This is going to help get it higher. And then from here, trying to feel as though that you can get up here this way, right? Before the club starts to swing past the ball. So when it came to the grip, I mentioned that you've got your pressure point on the trigger on this finger too high on the club. So when it's more wrapped on the top of the club, now when you swing it back, it gets the club face to go there. So it's under the shaft, that's open. But if I do the opposite and I crank it all the way under there, which is totally wrong, but I'm just giving you the opposite look, as I take it back to the top, see where the club face went? The other side of the shaft. So we can think of it like if the club face goes, the club head goes on the right side of my shaft, it's open, obviously. And if it goes on the left side of my shaft, it's closed. Now, old school theory was all about trying to think the club face was like a screen door, right? It went open and it went closed, and that's a power source. Not really, right? Like great around the campfire, but not really actually what we want to do. And that's why a lot of old school golfers would feel as though they're going that way, and the release in the swing was trying to go from open to closed. That's like driving down the highway going like this with your steering wheel, right? So Dustin Johnson, and he's a great example, but like John Rahm and all these other guys do it, where what they do in the backswing is they feel like they twist the shaft this way, so now the face is closed, and in order to square it, they let go of the twist. So it never goes from open to square to closed, because that's where we have to hit the ball, right? Good impact position is there. So if I pick that up and just point the shaft at you, face is pointed left, right? So they take it back where they get it closed, and then let go of it at the bottom, and it goes straight. Guy like Brooks Koepka, on the other hand, he might take the club and twist it so much this way and hold on to it, and what that does is it turns his 9-iron into a 6-iron, and now he's hitting it 10 times farther. Okay? So we want to feel as though that we are getting the shaft based on a grip that's more under, right? Underneath here, to go that way at the top. I can only go so far. But if I take it back and I open the face, I can take it back as far as I want. But if I held it there and started twisting the shaft closed, look what's happening in my backswing. It's getting shorter. So it can only go so far. So we're looking for thigh turn, taking it up to the top, maybe with a little lefty twist here, right? Closing the face as it goes up here. But then from there, lead with the body that way. So the club only went past the ball maybe 3 feet, but I'm in your finish position. You get here. I need you to get there sooner. So, thigh turn, lift with a twist. Then I get my body there and the club comes through behind me. This way. So, we can almost think that the impact position, my body's here, that's impact. Right? If I turn, there we go. Okay, so we want to find a way for you to feel as though that your body is outracing the club so that it hits the finish with the club down there, and there's impact off my right side. So I talked to Arjun about this, where I feel like there's like a zipper in the middle of my body. That's my midline. That when the club goes back to the right of my midline, I almost never want it to catch up to here. Boom, impact, release. So if you stand right here for me, don't get scared. Promise I won't hit you. Okay? Turn, right? And as I turn, just watch my midline. See how it's really going up and leading? And then this catches up after the ball's hit. The only time we want the club to pass our midline is maybe in a bunker shot.
See, I'm all armsy. My best game is like bunkers and on the green.
No question. I can see it. It's a great way to use the wedge, right? Because the more that we get the pivot involved in the wedge, like as a power source, the farther it goes. We don't need that. We're not looking for that. So we want to try and feel like the club really does do a whole lot of that kind of stuff. Gets short and narrow and my arms are all soft because it's a delicate shot. But we want to, like, for today, we're talking about power shots. So to recap, to try and get closer to our 3 words by the end of the day. Thigh turn. And if you want to feel like you just hold the club down here and point the shaft off toward that yellow stick, or toward the tee box where those guys are, great. Right? So then we set up to the shot. Don't move the club, just turn the thighs. When I mean move the club, I mean hands and arms, right? So thigh turn to help get this up higher in front of you. Maybe a little twist today. We'll find out whether we need that or not based on your ball flight. And then from there, turn the body so this comes through last. Let me see how you do it.
How's that for grip?
Well done. So the way that you can tell is if you take the club face and put it up like against a wall or a rock or something hard, maybe my foot, bend the shaft forward. No, that's leaning. Bend it.
What do you mean?
Bend.
Oh, like that?
Yeah. See where you feel it?
Oh, yeah.
On the back of the shaft. That's how you figure out if you have a good grip.
Okay.
Good. Up. Okay, hold it there. Look at the ground. Twisty. Okay, show me again.
That's a new feature, free water.
When it's above 30.
Oh, when it's above 30. Oh, Nick told us there's a caveat.
Safety feature.
Yeah, okay.
Good. And now body first. Okay, come take a look. And through. Good. I love it. Find your twist earlier.
Wrist?
Yep.
Okay, that's one thing I'm forgetting.
Yeah. If it happens at the top, then it's too late. We want to try and feel like the reason that the club changes direction is because you change direction. By you turning this way as the club's going up, that's what creates that look of like loosey-goosey lag stuff. The whole Sergio look.
Yeah.
We're on the same page here. Okay, push your hands forward a little bit, like a forward press. Glove toward the target.
Oh,
There,
yeah.
right there, good.
Okay, so
Yeah, start it with like 2 inches in front of the club head. Up, yeah, and through. Lovely, another one. Turn the thighs, twist the shaft, and through. Hit one.
just at that same speed.
Nah, you can go a little faster. Okay. Yep. Everyone's got a good plan until they start executing it, right? And then we have to figure it out from there. Right, Andrea? Okay, so good on the way back, but then you had the arms come through here and you were too like fetal at impact.
I want it to feel like that what's getting the club like past the golf ball is you going like that. Like literally turning and jumping to get tall. Good. Another one. Okay, come look. How you finding it?
The first like 6 were very, very good, and then
Revert, kind of came back.
but like the main thing is like I'm not hitting it well, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting like the pieces right.
Good.
Regardless of what this does.
Okay.
So I'm obviously like missing something again.
Okay, so show me the backswing part, just to make sure we get our priority there. Mm-hmm. Good. And then where do you have to go? Okay, so earlier with this. So it's going to feel like we lose this angle here between our like stomach and thighs and push it out to what's flat. Pushing out.
So like when I'm up here.
Yeah. Yeah, once you get to the end of your backswing, do everything you can to get tall and forward right away. Like that. And that's what swings the arms and club. So by the time you get to the end of the backswing, the arm and club are considered like the same unit, right? And we want to try and use the body to move the arm and the club all at the same time. But if the arm's acting independently, that's when your body says, oh, I better kind of get down here to freeze up and to let that happen. And so we stay in our bends. Do you need another practice swing?
Another one?
Just a practice swing, yep. Backswing looks good. Just feel as though that once it gets back there, you're pushing your stomach and your belt buckle to the target. It'll feel like you get tall. Okay, so see if you can do this part of it faster than this part. Not necessarily sequence like before, just do the pushing faster than the arms. Slow the arms, speed up the body. One more time. How about don't swing the arms until you're there?
Okay.
Not bad. That's a better sequence. So at the moment of impact, this is too far behind the ball, and this has to get in front of the ball. Keep pushing, there, that's the sequence. That it's almost like the club is like stuck behind you this way, and then it swings out later. But that stuck is like lag.
I feel like when I turn this,
Mm-hmm.
I like feel forced to like, I feel it like a lot in here, like.
Okay. Then what if we tried to take all the speed out of your arms? Speed and squeeze, take it all out of your arms. And let's see what you can do by just turning through this way without adding any arms and hand speed. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was definitely later. One more time. Okay, so take it up to the top. Hold it up there for me. Let's try and get a line that's separated by some grass. Let me see how it separates.
Yeah.
Just learned this last week that grass grows this way. It doesn't grow that way as much as it grows this way. So if we have a patch, it takes longer to grow in. So we'll go right here, separate
so
space.
leave like, okay.
Yeah, like leave a grass space in between. Okay, so crank it up to the top, hold it up there. Forward press, good, and all the way up. Okay, so in the downswing, this space right here can't get wider. But if this comes down before the body turns and that gets wider on you, that's when this passes your body and goes this way without your body turning. So if I take it to the top again, hold it up there. Okay, so now start turning your body. See how your arm's sucked into your chest?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good, hold it there. Now look at the ball. That's where I want you to feel like you get to. So if you had to practice swing at home in front of a mirror, it's this weird feeling. That this is almost glued to here. You've turned this love handle way out of the way. This is bent like crazy and the club's back here. So by the time you lose all those bends, it throws out into there. So it'd be like here, there. And I feel like this arm is super close to my body. It's not moving away. But when you move it away fast, that's arm speed, created from shoulder, right? Shoulder pulling the arm down, and then it passes your body. We don't want that. Except in the bunker. The bunker is different than everywhere else because you don't actually hit the ball. Yeah, and turn. Hey, way to go. Do that again, but get taller. Same thing. Best one yet. Easier said than done without a ball there, though.
Yeah.
If you feel as though that you're stopping at the top to try and like organize things, it's already too late because the body kind of sucks into the arm by changing direction. So my arm is going this way, but my body's going that way, and what happens is the arm starts to get sucked into the chest and it blasts off. So another way for me to describe this, give me your club, get into a golf stance right here. A little morbid, but I'm going to talk about this. So if your goal was to take this and knock me out, okay, make a backswing, all right, and how do you do that most powerfully? To knock me out. See how you turned and whipped?
Yeah.
Okay, what you were doing was going like this, right, and throwing your arm just using your shoulder. But if you actually had to knock someone out, you'd be like, okay, hold on a minute, I'll be back in a second. You go back here, feel the weight of this arm, and use the whole arm like a big heavy weapon, and wham! Right? You can see that I'm really flinging my arm off my chest. I'm not going like this via my shoulder, right? It's my chest turning that's launching my arm.
Yeah, you're not even like.
Yeah, it's like nothing, right? You bet. Close, one more time. I know. Coors Light water?
You're like, I'll take 8.
Yeah. Improve our game.
That's amazing. Hydration's a big deal. Most people don't understand it. Once you're hydrated, you can't.
One more time. Set up to your shot for me.
Oh, recycled bottle.
A little more in the fingers so that that gets on the back like that. There you go. So this line that gets created by the squeeze here, that has to point right up around here, somewhere in there,
Okay.
that line. But if it's back onto the side too much, you might be holding it too much in the palm. Okay? So like this squeeze point right there is important. Those two knuckles kind of squeezing together, and that would be right on top of the shaft there. It puts my trigger behind the shaft. So like that's how I really want to hold the grip. That's the most important part. That those two knuckles squeeze. I used to see people take a business card, put the business card in there and squeeze the card and have the card point up to here. Right, that's good. Okay, so take it to the top, but no stopping. Turn before you stop.
Like turn this way.
Yeah.
Before I start.
So your glove is going up as your chest is going to the target. like all at the same time. Hey, not bad, way to go. Again. Try and keep your hat down at the ground. Nicely done, good. So no stop at the top because we're trying to create our arm sucking in, whip, backhand, slap deal. Nicely done, nicely done. Again, doing the same thing again, but try to feel like when you do it, that your arms finish down and low instead of up and around. Lower with the hands. And if I gave you like a line here, I don't want your hands or arms to cross that line. Oh, good swing. Nice unintentional divot.
Yeah.
Body tall and through. Good. So what gets the club to not only hit the ball, but to go into the finish is the body moving this way. We still have some arms trying to do it. So, you know, key feels might be that they stay soft, perhaps, but you can imagine that the more you do this, the softer your arm really is. The second that you squeeze up, it doesn't get to do much. All the way to the finish, all the way to the end. So stand taller, yep. You're gonna get it from here. Squeezing pushes you. Hey, well done. So we talked, first thing we talked about was trying to make sure that you can get the hands higher. Let's go back to that for a sec because a couple of them have been a little too low. So the backswing feels way higher and longer than the follow through does. Just like in putting, right? Backswing's like 5 times as long as your follow through. Cool. Again. Still get the body to the finish before the arms come through, before the club comes through. So I want you to be standing tall, pushing forward before the club gets to the ground.
Okay, so if I just want to try one in slow motion.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, hold it there. Now stand tall, just stand tall. Yeah, but so you stood tall and flung the club. There, that one, again, hat down on the ground, same thing. And through with the body, don't swing the club. Hey, good job.
Oh, it's so difficult to just hold it.
The way that you want to hit the ball, by trying to bring the grip down to hit the golf ball or the club down to hit the ball, it's outracing your move. So all the stuff I'm talking about today will allow the club to hit the ball, but it's almost like I want to ask you not to hit the ball. I almost want you to feel as though that you're trying to keep the club head away from impact as you get this way. Yeah, down and through, stand tall, that's it, that's your move. So if I put this right here, all right, so set up to your shot. I don't want your arms to blast into that stick. So it's stopping short, stopping low, something along those lines.
Harder than it seems.
So another way for me to put this is that the sequence isn't happening because you're trying to put the club onto the ball, and by doing so, it makes it go over here. So I can do this right around the ball of my foot here. Right? As long as I feel as though all my energy is done there, right? Turning through gives me a chance to hit the brakes here. But if I take it back short and try and create too much grip speed, that's the one that goes that way.
Pretty much what I'm hearing is like I'm decelerating like too far.
You're decelerating once the club's past the ball. So you'd be accelerating through the ball, meaning that we're like over lagging the club head. It's not getting a chance to get all the speed your body's is creating. Different. Another one. Still crank it up far, because the farther you take it, the more time you have to create speed from the top instead of creating speed from the bottom. Keep the body going. Okay, so the club came down and then you turned. So feel like you've turned so much and then put the club down. And if you accidentally miss it by hitting the divot in front of the ball, you'd be the first human ever to do that. Well done. Like, perfect. Another one? Okay, so I want you to turn to the target the best you can. But if I stood here,
Just right here.
yeah, so keep turning. Turning. Okay, finish tall. Good. See right there? So I can stand here, and you're going to face me, but you're not going to hit me. That's where I want you to feel like you finish the shot. And the harder and faster you get here and stand up and back up a little bit, that's going to launch this up so it looks like a normal swing. But if I asked you to get there now, you just power your arms there more.
Yeah.
Right? So my arms go up because I've gone from here. See how they launched up? Right? I launched my arms up because of my body move, not because I threw my arms up there. Well done. Oh, a little crooked, but that was a good move. Another one. Crank it up as far as you can go. Because the farther you take the club back, the more time you have to create some arm speed before when we have to stop it.
And I feel like they're just dropping rather than like pulling. I feel like that I'm like trying to pull it down as well.
Let them drop. Take all the tension out and let gravity throw the 5-pound club and 40-pound arms to the ground. Ouch. You would have hit me. One more time. Higher back. Higher on the backswing. Everything else looked good. Just crank it back like as far as you can go. Like awkward long drive John Daly backswing. It's funny, the higher you go back, the more you want to swing your arms harder. So really feel like you take it back, and then as they drop straight down to the ground because you've taken all your muscle out of the way, that's when I want you to turn. We're going to have to give up some control, some muscle control, to gain control of your club. So I loved that one. Don't be so long up here. Get it up and get it down. Get up and just get back, get into the finish as soon as you can. So if I timed your swing, like on my watch, it's too long. That was a way better move. One more time. The rhythm that we want to try and get to is like back, hit, back, hit, back, hit. 1, 2. Back, hit, back, hit. So see how I said hit before you hit the ground? One more time. Back, hit, back, hit. Good. Again. Back, hit. Good. Another one. Let's go to the ball and do that. 1, 2. This beat. Okay, so take it to the top one more time. Hold it up there. So we're going to crank it up really high. Good. Okay, so if I were to hold this right here, drop the club down to the ground. Okay, hold it there, and now turn your belt buckle toward me. There's our sequence. One more time, crank it up to the top. Okay, hold it there. All right, now start turning the belt buckle as you drop your arms down. Good, turn the belt, good. So one of the things that I'm seeing here, at times, when you go up from here, you've got the chest unwinding like that, and it's unwinding earlier than your hips. So if we take it to the top, feeling as though that the arms come down As the belt starts to turn to the target, it's not so much about the shoulders and chest move.
Those will follow on their own.
It'll follow. We have to try and create some type of a feeling of a stretch where you feel like that the hips turn with the chest doesn't. And if the hips keep moving, see how it unwinds my upper body for me? Right? So the hips have to pull everything above them. So crank it up to the top, hold it up there. Okay. So the feeling is that the back stays right here as the belt buckle starts to turn and your arms go down. Down, down, down. That's your feel. Good. So I mentioned that like your at-home feel to this. Okay, so one more time, crank it to the top. Okay, so keep your back here. All right, start turning the hips. Okay, keep going, turn the hips. Keep going, hold it there. Turn the hips. Okay. Arms down there. So it almost feels like your back is still facing me. Show me that again. Yeah. Up. Back faces me as you turn the hips and put the club down. Good. So if you wanted to get a feel for this, like, and I'd recommend doing this kind of like away from the golf ball, feeling as though that you can make like a half swing, point your arms away from the target, and start feeling like it's your legs and your hips that are pulling out of the way, right? But when the chest goes, you'll notice how it moves my arms with it, right? So I do this at home in my studio where I get someone to take it back, they put their hands against the wall, and the only way the hands come off the wall is because the hips start turning to the target. And it pulls my hands off the wall and it pulls my hands down to here. But what you're doing from here is when you start unwinding the chest, it not only pulls the arms or opens up the chest too early, but it pulls your arms forward. So now your arms are going in the direction of the target instead of going down. So if I'm here, arms have to go down as the chest goes, or the hips go, but I try and feel like my chest stays back toward you a little bit. And that's why I can get down to a spot like this, where I feel like my lower body's turned, but I'm still kind of feeling like I'm facing you over here. Good. Keep turning. Good. There you go. And now if you kept going with that, that's going to throw the club into the ground better. Yeah. Cool. So I got an exercise or a drill for you. Let me see your club. So stand right here. So I put the ball in front of my front foot, okay, and I put my back foot like this, all right? And if I can feel as though that I can make a swing without losing my balance, I get a pretty good sequence of things. But if you go from here and unwind your chest, you'll kick that foot out pretty hard, okay? So you'll lose your balance by doing that. So if we set up like this, back foot like that, right, and feel as though that all you're trying to do is hit the golf ball basically with arms almost, right? We start to get the right sequence of hips first, chest later. Show me something like that. Just to make it easier.
With the ball or practice?
No, do it with the ball. So keep your eyes pointed down at the ball. Right foot behind your left foot in a straight line. There you go.